Thank you. Good afternoon. I want to go through 7 top tips for health and safety for business CEOs. This is not my work, this is work of a prominent group within the EEF, the health and safety group within the EEF, so it's their work that I'm presenting. The first tip is around the importance of leadership. For me, leadership is pivotal to health and safety. Leaders set the tone in the organisation. What they pay attention to, the way that they conduct themselves, the example that they set speak volumes about what is important. If health and safety is important to you, it becomes important to others. If health and safety is central in your briefings, in your conversations, in the way that you behave, others will follow your lead. People look to leaders for cues on how to behave and how to prioritise. As leaders, you set the expectations by what you show is important to you. The second tip is to create a vision, develop a plan. Now here's a number of questions. How many of you really understand the health and safety challenges in your business? How many of you really feel comfortable that you're controlling risk effectively? Are you managing occupational health risk? I don't know whether you knew it or not, but about 12,000 people die each year in the UK as a result of chronic ill health associated with previous work experience. How many of you feel equipped to deal with future challenges, new technologies, robotics, an ageing workforce? Are your people trained and competent? How effective is your communication? How good is your health and safety culture? Do you have the right information to make the right decisions? If you can't answer some of these questions, it might be worth finding out. Speak to your management teams and employees, occupational health, your safety and health teams. Become acquainted with the significant risks in your business. Start to prioritise and make decisions based upon what is important and what's most pressing to you. My third tip is to set expectations. Whenever I walk into another organisation, the first thing I look for is a clear indication of what is expected of me. And it's the same for employees and managers in your business. They need clarity about what is expected of them. It sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how few organisations do this really well. So here are a couple of pointers. Make sure expectations are framed in positive terms and they're achievable. Health and safety interactions, good risk assessments, effective training, culture transformation. Have arrangements in place for ensuring that behaviours are being achieved and monitored. This means establishing KPIs and developing metrics, much like any other business process such as finance or schedule adherence. Health and safety isn't something that can be left to chance. It's something that needs to be driven. And remember, as CEOs, you are squarely in the driving seat on this one. My fourth tip is health and safety doesn't start and stop with the shop floor. All departments and functions have an input, and it helps if they're all pulling together. The whole organisation has to share the same values, goals and commitment to health and safety. Project managers must ensure that there is enough time in the schedule for emergent issues. Design teams must ensure products can be manufactured and maintained using safe and healthy processes. Procurement must not solely be driven by the cheapest purchasing cost. After all, cheap is not the same as value, which in turn can impact both product and people safety. Buy cheap, buy twice, as the saying goes. Whoever we are, wherever we work, everyone in our organisation has a part to play. So get your teams aligned and ensure everyone is committed to good health and safety. My fifth tip is don't forget contractors. Many organisations rely on subcontractors. They help build and maintain our workplaces. They cater for our employees and supply goods and equipment. Your reputation is only as good as your worst contractor, so act as an intelligent customer. Employ only competent organisations and not necessarily those that offer the cheapest service. Ensure that your procurement and commercial departments think health and safety during selection. Work in partnership with your selected contractors to raise health and safety standards. I know from experience that working together on health and safety offers many benefits. My sixth tip is about the importance of human factors on health and safety performance. Many of you oversee complex organisations where people interact with hazardous substances, processes, machinery. The problem is that humans aren't machines, but we often think that they behave like a cog in a machine. In reality, they make mistakes. It's what we all do. So it's important that we recognise this when designing systems of work. It's easy to sit behind a desk and develop health and safety procedures that look great on paper, but if you rely on people complying with them flawlessly, they may inevitably fail. Engage your employees in order to understand their issues and experiences. After all, employees are in the best position to provide valuable health and safety information. They know what works and what doesn't. They know where shortcuts are made and how things are really done when the pressure is on, the workplace norms. They often have solutions to the challenges that you face. So create an environment and develop systems where employees are involved in defining and delivering solutions and feel comfortable to come forward with vital health and safety information. Some of you might be aware of the Bradley Curve safety culture model, where it's seeking this interdependent state where employees and managers take collective responsibility for safety. This is the area that we're all seeking. My final and seventh tip is around a learning organisation. No business is perfect and there are always opportunities to learn, especially when it comes to health and safety. It's important to develop a culture where your people feel able to raise issues about their work. After all, they're at the sharp end. They will know what works and what doesn't. They will know where the shortcuts are made and the problems persist. The key is to have effective reporting systems and investigation processes to get to the root organisational causes and look to fix the disease and not just the symptom. But it doesn't end there. In order to build trust, you have to act on employee concerns and issues, and most importantly, provide them with feedback. This demonstrates that you take their concerns seriously and will encourage them to tell you even more. Hold your managers to account for completing actions in order to prevent recurrence and build trust. Here's one for you. Ask yourself as a leader, ask your employees, what do you want me to do to demonstrate my commitment to your safety? And when you get the answers, act upon it. So in summary, my takeaway messages are: leadership and demonstrable commitment from the top is essential. Don't underestimate your influence on the overall culture of your organisation. Remember, you set the tone and you set the expectations through your actions and words. Create a vision and a plan. Understand the scale and depth of your challenge prior to commencing the journey. Manage expectations. Be realistic about what you can achieve. And don't simply chase the safety numbers, go for quality. Engage your employees, seek that interdependent state. Your subcontractors are an extension of your reputation. Choose your partners wisely. Engage your supply chain so that they understand how their decisions influence your working environment. People make mistakes. Challenge yourself to understand why and what you can do to prevent human error. Learn from mistakes. No business is perfect. There are always opportunities to learn. And remember, the shadow that you cast will influence others. Be visible and talk openly with your employees. And finally, good health and safety is good for business. Thank you.